this might be the verse of the year, literally. People are gonna try and ignore this. People are gonna try and ignore this. They're gonna act like Cassper didn't just drop the hottest verse of the year. So
where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working.
what's good, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel. It's back with another cool video, and if you didn't watch my first video, I'm urging you to go watch it so that you just get an idea. But in a nutshell, here is a home where we keep each other accountable. This is a community. This is a friendship. I'm here to remind you to stick to your goals. End of the year, I want to have 500k views, subscribers and views, both. And I want you to keep me accountable. I want to be consistent. I want you to comment on my sections like, yo, bro, you didn't release a video last week. But at the same time, I want every time you see me, like every time you tap in onto these videos, you be like, damn, he's still going. I got to go as well. He's still praying. Maybe I should pray, or maybe I should continue praying. He still believes in this God. Maybe I should look into this God if you aren't a believer already. I want to get somewhere in my faith, in my life, success and all these things. And I know you have those goals too. And I want us to help each other. So that's what we're going to be doing, man. We're just going to be talking about certain things that are affecting our culture, that are affecting us as young men, as young ladies, that are affecting the young ladies. And we're going to be helping each other to navigate those things and how we can change our lives to be better people, to know God, to grow in the will of the Father a bit more. Those are the kind of things we're going to be talking about out here. So, and that's going to sometimes look like looking into culture, looking into, music and just the culture that's around us. Because those things basically, they face each other, like us and that culture. We are part of the culture. The culture is affecting us as well. So if we don't talk about how these things are affecting us or misleading us sometimes, most of the times, we are doing each other a disservice. We need to have these conversations about how the culture is affecting us, misleading people and stuff like that. So, and today, one of those things is us looking. This is dope verse, man. For me, this might be the verse of the year, literally. Because I want us to look into the lyrics. Cassper is basically just making me proud at this point, man. So, and I know people are gonna try and ignore this. They're gonna act like Cassper didn't just drop the hottest verse of the year. So the part that caught my attention, the whole verse as a whole is dope, but then I want to talk about this part. He says, and to be honest, man, I don't know yet. Am I going to rap? That's what he's talking about. But I'm covered in God's grace. I'll never go back. And I'm not full of myself, but I still like a Rolex. I no longer want to be the richest man in the world. What I want to do is sit back and marry my girl. That's so profound, man. That's so profound. Let's talk about that. Man, are you marrying your girl? Are you loving on her? Or are you trying to chase? If you watched my last video, I talked about that, where we are caught up in a culture that glorifies promiscuity, in having multiple partners and stuff like that. Bro, find that one girl, build with her, marry her, make her your queen, and I'm so glad to see Cassper doing that. As he's recently got married and stuff like that. But he goes on to say, break the cycle. Every day I'm trying to be like my idol. Not Jay-Z, but Jay from the Bible. My Lord and Savior, God is heavenly Son. They say he wasn't the one because he was born in a barn, but as time will tell that he's the greatest of names. Man. That's fire, man. I'm really happy to see. When I heard that, when I was watching, you guys can go watch the actual video actually. When I saw that, I was just like, yes, this is what culture needs, especially in our times for young people and stuff like that. We need somebody that's up there. Like Cassper, we can say Southern Africa, he's one of the biggest giants, up there with your Burna Boys and stuff like that. Him saying that, confessing his life to Christ, like, yo, man, I'm trying to be like Jesus, love on my woman and stuff. That's the epitome of what a good man should be doing. Trying to love your wife, be a good leader, those things. Stop trying to chase the streets, bro. Focus. And Ricky Rick's death hit a lot of people. It hit me as well. For me, it made me think like, if this guy had everything in life that I could have, Ricky, bro, had the money, the fame. Ricky was a handsome dude, got a beautiful wife, bro, and like he still was like, I can't do this. It hit me like, what was missing? What makes you do, like those things, like, because I thought the day that I get those things, the day that I get my beautiful wife, that's before I was married. I thought the day I get my beautiful wife and I get my cars and I'm famous and stuff, then I'm gonna be happy. And I'm like, somebody that has those things that I want is staying. Like, I remember early in my when I was a kid, like, I used to think like the people like Kurt Cobain. I'm like, Kurt Cobain was one of the most famous people and had one of the most famous songs, ever written, and like, but then couldn't do it. And then for me to see Cassper, like, he has the money, he has, the fame and stuff like that, and then he still says, I'm gonna bow to Christ. Get out of here, man. Y'all are ignoring. This is what we should be looking to. This is what the culture should be looking like. But we won't. They won't look at that. The culture wants you to be focused on everything else that's wrong, because they tell you that's what sells. So you get into it. Like, as musicians, we told, no, don't have naked girls on your music videos, because that's what's gonna sell. If they didn't have a naked girl, did they? I didn't watch the whole video properly. Probably. But then what I'm saying is the focus that we have in the culture right now is what's destroying us. That's why there's so many kids whose parents are, getting divorced. This is why there's so many parents that are like not leading well. Uncles are not being uncles, and like teaching these young men, putting these young men on their arms and saying like, I'm gonna help you become the person that you're supposed to be. We're not doing that in our communities. We need to have those types of conversations, and that's why we're here. That's why Outspoken is here. That's why Tino is here, bro. Here for you, son. Got you. I really do. So I'm gonna continue with the verse, and then we're gonna jump into something else after I talk about it. But as time will tell that he's the highest of names, took my punishment to save me, although I was to blame. Now I'm a new creature, riding in a two-seater. That's the gospel right there, in case you didn't know. God takes our punishment where we deserved the punishment, because we are the sinners. You and me are the sinners. We lie, we cheat, and we do all these horrible things. You and me, we do those things, and we deserve. I mean, like, it's only fair. If I'm the father and I gave you this world, love each other, and that you do, and then I say, okay, you deserve punishment. But guess what? At the same time, it's like, you deserve punishment. It's also like, but you can't take it, my child. I'll take it for you, because I'm still true to my word, but I'm still love. I'm still loving and graceful. So that's what he's talking about. He took my punishment to save me, although I was to blame. Now I'm a new creature, riding in two-seaters. I think that was just like a rhyme word. Seeing his goodness in the land of the living, and evangelist, blah, blah, blah. He goes on to talk. Just go and listen. Go and listen to those guys. Like, I think this is fire. I think this is the best verse. So, Southern African, coming out of Southern Africa right now. Why do I keep saying Southern Africa? Is because if you from Zim, if you from Botswana, if you from Nigeria even, actually, maybe let me not say Southern Africa. The rest of the world needs to hear this, man. This is the answer. Us talking about this. Even he goes there, yeah, if the question is, who are you? The answer is Christian. Man, that's some dope stuff. Shout out to Cassper. And shout out to Stogie too for putting this up as well. I mean, this is really, really cool stuff. And coming to the end of this video, I just want to urge you, like, again, brother to brother, brother to sister, the only answer we have starts by us asking the question. You won't get the answer if you don't ask the question. Basically, you won't get the answers if you don't partake in the conversation. Instead of getting emotional about it, let's have the conversation. Where are you going? Who are you? What's the problem, and how can we solve these things? It starts with the question. Ask the right questions. Let's have the right questions. Let's question the things that we see that they're putting in our faces. Look at them and be like, I don't know about this one. Don't just say, oh, this is what they gave us, so I'm just gonna go with it. You know what I'm saying? Outspoken. Peace.